Hey girls, welcome back to another night of math class. We're going to be looking at more two-step equations. So I want to go ahead and pull up or print out or just write this equation down here on your own paper. This is the first problem from your practice set that's assigned for homework tonight. And what we're going to do is one that's just like it. I want you to look over here now at 5a plus 3 equals 35. Let's solve this one together. Write this problem down on your paper and write down each of the steps that we do together. And then I'm going to give you time to go back and do your problem, 5a plus 2 equals 7 on your own. All right, if I'm looking at 5a plus 3 equals 35, it's written on our paper. I want you to notice that you have two sides to your equation. You have the 5a plus 35, this part right here, and then I have my 35. That's on this side of my equation. And in between are my equal signs. Okay, so which side has my variable on it? Well, my variable is my a, so that's on my purple side. So the goal is ultimately going to be to get my a by itself on this side. But there's a couple of things I need to look at. The first thing I always do when solving a two-step equation, let's come over here and see if we can review from class. The first thing I do is to undo addition or subtraction. So do I have any addition or subtraction going on this pink side right here? Yes, I do. I'm adding 3 to my 5a. So in order for me to get 5a by itself, I have to undo this addition right here. Well, how do I undo addition? What's its opposite? Oh, it's subtraction. So I'm going to end up subtracting 3 from this side. But what I do on one side of my equation, I've got to end up doing over here on this side. All right, so if I have 5a plus 3 minus 3, that has to be equal to 35 minus 3. Notice that I subtracted the 3 because it's on the side with my a. I do not want to touch my 35. I don't want to touch 35 because there's no variable on its side. I need to be touching stuff that's on my pink side. All right, let's see if I can simplify this now. I'm at 5a equals 35 minus 3. What is a positive 35 plus a negative 3? Positive 32. Okay, so now I have 5a. That brings me back over here to my second step. The second thing I always do is to undo multiplication or division. All right, so what is 5a? Is 5a the same as 5 plus a? 5 times a? 5 minus a? Or 5 divided by a? Hopefully you recognize that 5a is the same as 5 times a. So I have to undo my multiplication. Well, the opposite of my multiplication is division. What am I going to end up dividing this term by? Am I going to divide it by 32? No. 32 is on the green side. There is no variable over here. I do not touch my 35. I need to touch everything that's over here on my pink side. I've already dealt with the 3. I'm good there. Now I've got to deal with this thing over here by my a. So the opposite of multiplication is division. I need to divide by 5. What I do to one side, I have to do over here on my green side too. So my 5's cross out because 5 over 5 is 1, leaving me 1a, which is a. And then I get this doozy, 32 over 5. Don't wig out. How do you solve an improper fraction? You have to simplify it. Hopefully you recognize that 5 times 6 is 30. 32 minus 30 is 2 over 5. So this is my A. If it asks you to check I'm now going to take my a, and I'm going to plug it in up here for a. So I said a equals 6 2/5, right? Let's look at what happens when I have 5a plus 3 equals 35, and I want to check if my 6/5 will go in for my a. Oh, cool, look at that. I just plugged it right in. Notice that this, again, is multiplication going on. It's 5 times 6 2/5, which, for the purposes of checking it, is going to be easier to keep in my original 32/5 form, because I can just multiply across. And notice, oops, wait, plus 3, question mark equals 35. My 5's crossed out because this is the same as 5 over 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I get 1 times 32 is 32 plus 3, which does indeed equal 35. So this just tells me that I did my math right, and this is my A. Okay, doing the same process. Remember, you're dealing with the pink side of your equation. You're not going to touch the green side. Go ahead and see if you can solve for A. Pause me and let's see what you get. Welcome back. Let's check your answer. Hopefully you got A equals 1. If so, give yourselves a pat on the back. We got this one down. If not, go back and see if you can find your mistake. Go back through the same process I did. Come over here and let's make sure that we subtracted first, then we divided second, and then make sure, as always, that you check your answer. Welcome back. Let's do another one. This time I'm just using B's instead. I'm going to walk you through this problem here, and then you're going to solve this problem on your own paper. So let's make sure you have this guy right here written down on your own paper. Pause me if you need to. Let's go ahead and see what we're going to do first. Remember that I've got two sides of my equation. I've got my pink side. That's everything on this side of my equal sign. And I've got my green side, which is over here. Which side has my variable on it? It's my pink side. This is the only side I'm going to be adding and subtracting stuff from. I don't want to deal with the green side. All right, let's thank you. Let's look at this again. 3b plus 7. If I'm looking at this side, this has my variable b. I have to first undo addition or subtraction. So what am I doing to my 3b? Well, there's a couple things going on. This is the same as 3 times b plus 7. And the first thing I do is not dealing with this times here. The first thing I do is to deal with the addition or the subtraction. That's my first step. So before I can do anything else, I have to subtract my 7. It's pink, so I'm going to use the pink over here. And that equals, remember that this over here was -2. That just stays the same. I got to bring it down. I got to keep my equals in a straight line. Not going to move my equal signs. Okay. Now, if I'm subtracting 7 from this side over here, I also have to do it on the other side of my equals. So I end up having to subtract 7 here as well. All right, let's solve and see what we have. On the pink side of my equation, this side right here, I have 3b plus 0 equals -2 minus 7. Let's simplify this a little bit. 3b plus 0 is just the same as 3b, which equals negative. This is not the same as 2 minus 7. This is not -5. This is -2 plus -7. So 3b equals -9. All right, the next thing I have to do is what? Remember to look over here on my pink side to figure out what to do next. What is going on the side with my variable? My variable is b. I've got this 3. 3b is the same as 3 times b equal to negative 9. So I have to undo my multiplication or division. So the next thing I have to do is going to have to be to divide by 3, not by 9, because I do what's over here on the pink side. That's over on the green side. I don't want to deal with this. I want to leave it as it is as much as I can. What I do on the pink side, though, I've got to do over here on the green. So I bring this 3 over. My 3's cross out. I'm left with just b equals negative 3. Now you have to check. So I have to come back up here to this equation. I'm just going to write it again. 3b plus 7 equals negative 2. My b equaled negative 3, so I'm going to plug it in for b. Make sure to use parentheses when you plug it in. It should look exactly like this. When I have parentheses times a number, it means that I am multiplying that number. So if I have 3 times negative 3 plus 7 equals negative 2. I need to simplify this, and 3 times negative 3 is negative 9 plus 7 equals negative 2. Is this true? Why, yes it is. That means that my solution is right. I did my math right. Okay, I'd like you on your own paper now to do 3b plus 6 equals 12. Remember to deal with the pink side first, and you're going to end up having to move what's on the pink side because the pink side has my b. You're going to have to do to both sides what you do to one. Follow the steps I did, just like I did them with our problem, and do that on your paper. Hopefully that made sense to you and you were able to get b equals 2. If not, go back and check your math. The next one I'd like you to do is 2x plus 3 equals 7. Write this on your own paper. Pause me when you need. And hopefully my x equals 2 and I'm good to go. If you had questions on these, I want you to shoot me a text. And I will try to get another video up to help walk you through, or we can come up with something else. But let me know if you did not get these answers on your own, and make sure to show me your work when you come into class. All right, let's look at problems like this for a second. Problems like this. Notice that it's exactly the same thing we were doing before, but my pink side, the side with my variable, is now over here. Whoa, why did it change? Where's my variable, guys? Where's my letter? My letter is n. It's now on the right side of my equation. Leah, dear, I know you don't do left and right, so I'm doing colors for you instead. So my pink side is now on this side of my equation. And my green side is now over here because there's no variable over here. Green has no variable. So let's look at the equation you're going to be doing tonight on your own. Where is your pink side? Take out a highlighter, take out a colored pencil, something. I want you to write this equation down, and I want you to show me where your pink side is. Hopefully you underlined this section right here because your t is your variable. So this is your pink side. My 9 is my green side. All right. Now I need to come over here and see what I'm going to do first. Let's look back at our rules. My rules say that the first thing I need to undo is my addition or subtraction. So, looking at the problem I'm doing for you on the side, I look on my pink side. Find your pink side. What's going on with your n? Do you have addition on your pink side? Yes! All right, let's circle that. I have addition right here. If I have addition, I've got to undo it. How do I undo addition? By adding its opposite. The opposite of a positive is what? A negative. So I've got a positive 1, and I need to subtract it or add a negative. It's better if you think of this as adding its opposite. Because I've got addition going on here, I'm adding a positive 1. I now need to add a negative 1. And what I do on my pink side, I have to do to my green side. So I end up adding a -1 on here too. Why 1? Why not 10? Because 1 is what's over here on my pink side. It's the addition that I'm doing to my n. So I have to get this away, and I have to add its opposite. So if I'm adding a +1, I add a -1 to both sides, and I get 2n plus 1 plus -1 crosses out, giving me +0. And over on this one, 10 plus -1 gives me +9. I hope you're with me so far. All right, 2n plus 0 is just 2n equals 9. I still don't have n by itself. This is where the second step comes on. Once you get here, what am I doing on my pink side? Find your variable. Highlight it, circle it, do whatever you need to. It's on your pink side. So I need to see what else is going on. I've got this 2. You might want to circle this with pink. What am I doing to my 2? Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? 2n is the same as 2 times n. I'm multiplying. All right, so I'm down here on my second step. How do I undo multiplication? By doing its opposite. So I have to divide. Divide 2n by 2. And remember that what you do on the pink side, you've got to come over and do on the green side. And that should give me my 2's cross out, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I get this 1n equals 9 over 2. I have to simplify. I can't just leave this. So n equals 4.5. All right, well, now you have to check. How do I check? I rewrite my equation right below. Do this with me, guys. Everything I write should be on your papers. All right, I want you to take your pink again, and I want you to highlight your n. Whoops, that's not my highlighter. All right, well, this big block that I just ran over is my n. So now let's plug 4.5 back in. All right, it's plugged back in. Let's look at this. I have 10 equals 2 times 4.5 plus 1. And I've got to multiply. To multiply a fraction, I need to turn it back to its improper form, which was 9 over 2. Right? 9 over 2? Same thing? Yep, just improper. And how do I multiply? Remember that you end up adding a 1 under my whole number. I've got my multiplied by 9 over 2 plus 1 equals 10. All right, let's solve this below. Keep writing down. You should have exactly what I have on your paper. Write with pink. It should help. All right, remember that 10 equals 2 times 9 is 18 over 2 plus 1. Well, 10 equals 9 plus 1. Is this true? Yes, it is. That means that my answer is the correct solution. No other number is going to satisfy this answer and give me and work for this equation. So I want you to come over here, and on your own paper, I want you to do this problem. Highlight your variables. Manage your pink side first and do these 2 steps. Hopefully, pause me and let's check your answer. Hopefully you got 1 equals t. If so, I'd like you to also solve this problem for me. Remember to highlight your pink side and highlight your variable. Pause me and let's check your answer. Hopefully you got d equals 2. If you didn't, let's go back and check your answer. See if you went through the exact same process I did and undid your addition and subtraction first, and then your multiplication and division. If you are still having questions, shoot me a text. All right, let's look at another couple. I'd like you to write these on your own paper too, side by side on opposite sides of your paper. I'm going to do the one on the left, and you're going to do the one on the right. You're going to write down what I do on the left, and then you're going to do the one on the right on your own. All right, so let's look at this. I want you to use your pink, and I want you to highlight your variable. For me, it's this guy here. All right, then I want you to mark under the side of your equation that has your variable using your pink. Then go get your green and mark the other side of the equation. The green side, we're not going to move. We're not going to move the green side. All right, what is going on my pink side? I have to look at my two steps. The first one over here is to undo addition or subtraction. Well, I've got some subtraction going on. Take out your red. I have a negative. Okay, but I don't want to move B. I want to keep B where it is. So I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm going to look instead at my addition going on here. Circle what you've got going on that we need to deal with, this addition or subtraction on your side of the problem. Okay, you should have exactly what I have written down. It should look like mine. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this. Well, I'm going to undo addition or subtraction on my pink side. So how do I undo addition? I subtract. What I do on one side of my equation, I've got to do on the other. All right, let's rewrite this and see what I look like. I look like now negative B plus 5 minus 5 equals negative 16 minus 5. Be careful here. Remember, let's rewrite all of this as adding a negative. I've got negative B plus 5 plus negative 5 equals negative 16 plus a negative 5. Okay, now let's simplify this. Notice that my plus 5 plus a negative 5 end up crossing out, leaving me just negative B equals negative 16 plus a negative 5. How do I add negatives? I'm still going to have a negative. I'm getting further down my number line. Negative 16 plus negative 5 is negative, yes, 21. All right, but do I still have B equals? No, I've got this pesky negative I need to deal with. What's up with that? Well, whenever you see something like negative A or negative C, remember that this is the same as negative 1A or negative 1C. There's like a hidden 1 beside everything. All right, so this negative 1A. So if I just divide by negative 1, and I'm dividing because negative 1C, look back over here, is the same as negative 1 times C. And I don't think that's very clear. Let's try this again. This is the same as negative 1 times C. And negative 1 times, I undo multiplication using division, so I'm going to divide. So I come back up here to my B, and I've got this negative 1 I'm going to divide by, because that's going to end up canceling out this negative. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, right? That gives me what I want. But what I do to my pink side, I've got to do over here on my green side too. So negative 21 divided by negative 1. Well, what is a negative divided by a negative? It's a positive. And what is 21 divided by 1? Well, that's just 21. B equals 21. So now, to check it, I'm just going to plug it right back into my original equation with a question mark over my equals, and let's see if this works. I'm going to take this guy and plug it in for B. Oh, cool, look at that. Well, remember, what is negative 21 plus a positive 5? I've got to be going more closer to positive. It's like subtraction and take the sign of a bigger number. 21 minus 5 is 16. Take the sign of my larger number, which is negative, and I get this negative 16. Is it true that that equals negative 16? Why, yes it is. That means my math was right. This works. I'd like you to do the same process now for this equation. Refer back to the work you just did. Let's do another problem. Pause me and let's check your answer when you're done. Hopefully you got t equals -10. If not, see if you can figure out where your error was. Go back through, try it one more time. If you still can't figure it out, shoot me a text and let me know. I'd like you now to do -d plus 7 equals 3 on your own and see what you get. Hopefully you got d equals +4. If not, try working it again. If you still can't get it after working it again, shoot me a text. All right, let's look back up at this equation. Make sure you have these two written down on the opposite sides of your paper. And make sure you have a pink colored pencil and a red colored pencil and a green colored pencil handy, and let's go through this together. All right, what we're doing, make sure you're writing down everything I am. Notice here, I have m divided by 8 plus 4 equals 16. This is written on your own paper. Now take your pink pencil marker or highlighter, and I'd like you to highlight your variable. It's my m. Good. Now I want you to highlight the side of your equation that has m on it. That's this side right here. Now I want you to take your green and I want you to highlight the other side. We are not moving anything on this side. We're not using 16 anywhere on the pink side. We're going to try using stuff on the pink side. So now let's look at my steps. I have undoing, subtraction, or addition. I want you to take your pink highlighter and I want you to circle or highlight if you have addition or subtraction going on the side of your m. Just addition or subtraction. Good. I'm adding my 4. Yes. All right, so I have to undo the addition. How do I undo addition? I use subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 4. What I do to one side, I've also got to do over here on my green side. All right, let's rewrite what I end up having. I've got m divided by 8 equals 16 minus 4, right? Because my +4 and my -4 cross out. I don't have those anymore. Well, let's rewrite this as adding a negative. So I have m over 8 equals 16 plus a -4. All right, so m over 8 equals what, guys? 12. Good. Okay, m over 8, m eighths. This is the same as what? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Is it m times 8, m minus 8, m plus 8, or m divided by 8? Hopefully you recognize this is m divided by 8. It's division. I'm on step 2 now. So I need to undo division. Well, what is the opposite of my addition? Multiplication. Okay, so I need to multiply both sides. I'm not going to use my 12 because my 12 is on my green side. I don't move my 12. I need to move something that's over here. What is with my m? It's the 8. Okay, so I need to end up multiplying. I can use parentheses to indicate multiplication. This is the same thing as that. So I'm going to multiply by 8. And what I do to one side, I've also got to do to my other. If I multiply here, I got to multiply there. Okay, so m times 8. M is divided by 8. This is the same as 8 over 1 equals 12 times 8, which is 96. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cross these out. I get 1, and this is 1m equals 96, or just m equals 96. Remember that to check this, you're going to have to plug it back in. So I'm going to rewrite my original equation as m over 8 plus 4 equals 16. And I'm going to plug my m in. And now let's solve. 96 divided by 8 hopefully gives me 12. 12 plus 4 equals 16. Yes, it does. This is true. M equals 96. All right, I want you to do the exact same process. If you need to rewind my video back up to where I started this problem and do it with this problem, that's fine. But I want you to do this problem on your own using the exact same process. Rewind me and let me walk you back through it, but using these numbers. Hopefully your answer is negative 36. If you have any questions on this one, shoot me a text. Otherwise, I'd like you to do this next problem on your own. You can rewind me to let you rewrite this problem on your paper and do this problem on your own as well. If you have problems with this, shoot me a text. Otherwise, your answer should be negative 22.